Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are at the Tabconf. I'm your host, Phil. Got co-host Sir Ulrich.
Good morning.
We're giving the signal without the slop over here at Tabconf. And right now, we're actually going to dive into the daily news before we start the daily interviews. We're going to have actually Matt Hill from Start9 Labs. He's going to be joining us. He's going to be joining us in about an hour or so, maybe like an hour and a half. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, okay. Guys, you know the deal. We are going to dive into the news right now. And of course, I did not prepare the basic stuff. So here we go.
You were working on it so long.
I know. And I just completely forgot to actually bring everything up. So, okay, let's dive right into it, guys. Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to start off with some fun right away. We're going to start off with this MSTR ad. So, everybody, I think everybody's mostly aware that MSTR is a software business, but most importantly, business intelligence, right? Data aggregation, stuff like that. But of course, very rarely do we ever actually see an ad for that. We usually see stuff that has to do with ties and shoes and not their actual business software. So of course, was very surprised to see this post from them, right? Data chaos is costing you time, trust, and decisions. So let's go take a look at this little MSTR ad and have some fun.
Get governed, reliable data, no matter what BI tools or data storage you use. Connect all your data with Strategy Mosaic.
All right, guys, there it is. Strategy Mosaic. Strategy Mosaic. What are your thoughts?
I mean, in my opinion, good for them.
Yeah, right? It's good for them.
To actually show that, hey, we are a business trying to create value for customers. It's not just a financial engineering plot. Okay, some people call it a Ponzi scheme. I think it's just coloring money in different forms. Some people will tell you that, oh yeah, it's actually creating value. It's just divvying up value in a different way, hoping that certain group of people catch the fervency on a high rise. But here's MicroStrategy showing, hey, we do business. And guess what? The good thing is, like, even though they've never been really good, Michael Saylor was the longest sitting CEO in NASDAQ. You know, he was 30 years being a CEO. For a company to last that long, they weren't dying right away. So hopefully with this newfound wealth in their Bitcoin, maybe they can flip it to actually creating value, maybe turning themselves into a true hard money company where it's like, we create value and save in Bitcoin.
That was supposed to be the story, like, what is that, back in 2020, right?
Yeah.
They had that melting iceberg, and, you know, they just wanted to save, and here we are today. Okay. Anyways, moving on from MicroStrategy. Let's take a look at, there's a whole bunch of a bunch of bank news. But before we get into the bank news here, let's take a look at, we've got this post from Max Kaiser. Well, it's actually from Bitcoin News, but here we go. This is what Max Kaiser had to say. He declared that the 300-year fiat experiment is over, calling the surge to Bitcoin's all-time high on October 6th poetic justice. He says growing deficits, debt costs, and fintech shifts such as Jack Dorsey merging Cash App with Square as signs of cracks in the traditional banking system. So look, I mean, I think that I think anybody in the space is not really surprised by these hyperbolic statements that Max makes. Look, of course, I would love it if we were in a situation where we could actually say that the fiat experiment is over. But when you understand how governments issue debt, and you understand that all of this debt actually cannot be paid back because the economy would actually cease to exist. Like, there would be no money in the system because the government, essentially, you'd have to take all that money back out. I don't know. I just think it's just hyperbole for the sake of hyperbole. I don't know. It's not signal, man. I don't think the fiat the fiat experiment is dead. Of course, we are suffering through the beginnings of hyperinflation. However, I just look at what happened in Weimar Germany, right? You could have said the same thing. Oh, the fiat experiment is dead. Look, we had a whole country completely flop upside down. Wouldn't that have meant that the fiat experiment was dead? But no, all that happened was life was breathed into it, into another country.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, Max Kaiser hasn't been right about a projection since 2021. Bitcoin to 2020, Bitcoin to 20,000 in December. After that, guess what? The next year he said 350. He was wrong. He was wrong the next year. He was wrong the year after that. However, the fiat experiment is over. At some point, he will be right, but there are a lot of steps to take. Guess what? With Bitcoin, the Bitcoin treasury companies, you can say, oh, like that ruined the cycle. If it didn't ruin this cycle, it's going to ruin the next cycle. Someone was going to do it, and someone was going to wreck a large demographic of people. And it's just, I don't want to say par for the course, but it's just the course that we have to go down. And so there will be people who will try to back fiat with Bitcoin in the future. It's almost guaranteed. And what's going to end up happening is Bitcoin as true money, as truly divisible, as perfectly divisible, as perfectly transmutable, transmissible to anyone all over the world, borderless. People are going to start asking the questions, why do I need this fiat currency, this government issued currency, when Bitcoin can do everything that I need it to do? And people have to ask those questions before fiat experiment is over. We're on the campus of Georgia Tech right now.
And we're not backwards. That's what I was checking.
Oh, we're not backwards.
Yeah.
Pleb Underground is growing by
right.
the minute.
That's right.
But if you look at, we're on the campus of Georgia Tech right now. I guarantee people aren't asking those tough questions right now.
No.
They see money as just as something the government does and something the government controls. And until people start asking those questions, the classic "what is money?" Where it's not over. So we kind of like, let's start getting people to ask that question first.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And we've got some comments here. Lucky Red Fish, that's right. Strategy is perpetuating the debt cycle by borrowing. Exactly, right? And this is, in all fairness, this is one of the reasons that we really appreciated, or I shouldn't say we, right? Because I'll just speak for myself. I really appreciated what Michael Saylor was saying back in 2020, because he didn't have this messaging of, I am going to borrow, I am going to dilute shareholders, and I don't care, I'm not a MicroStrategy shareholder. I'm going to do all of these shenanigans to, in order to buy as much Bitcoin as I can, and hopefully I'll be able to hang on to it with more financial shenanigans. So it was very different. So yeah, I agree with you, Lucky Redfish. That's exactly what's happening. And the next comment, but CBDCs, that's right. And look, in all fairness, CBDCs, as we know, it's just another extension of fiat, right? It's like, it is the exact same thing. I mean, people want to pretend that it's not, but it is just, once again, government issued and backed currency, but now it's in more of a digital form, or its originating form is digital, but the premise is still the same. It is still the government that is, it is still money by decree, and it is backed by state violence. So it's, you just put a bow tie on it. Okay. Moving on from what Max had to say. All right, let's get into all right, Ulrich, I'm gonna have you talk about this one here.
Sure.
Because why not? There was some strange. Please explain this post, right? This is a post from Degen Ping, and it says on 10/10 bid, on 11/5 sell, and this particular post was October 8th.
Very cryptic.
What is it?
Hey, I mean, I think it looks innocuous from first glance, but if you recall, 10/10 was kind of like that bloodiest day in crypto, Bitcoin dropping from, I think, maybe 120 to 104, touching 104 for a moment within a 24-hour period. But this guy, on October 8th, when everything was rosy, I think Bitcoin was probably still around 125. And he says, bid, and then 11.5 says sell. So it's like, we've seen some posts like this on Twitter before. I saw a post where someone predicted the Queen of England's death. I've seen posts where we have, what's the guy, that Josh guy?
Josh Mandel.
Josh Mandel.
Who, by the way, I think Sailor blocked. I was following this thread yesterday. I think I sent it to you.
He has.
So
he just blocked him.
Yeah, he just blocked him because, man, Josh keeps posting this screenshot of the historical MicroStrategy chart showing essentially that, like, it's just slightly at the same level as it was back right before the .com bubble bust. So if you actually held it for that long, you're not really much higher than slightly breaking even, which is pretty sad. And I know, and nobody wants to see that, right? Especially not the MSTR shills.
Yeah.
Sorry, they'll continue.
No, it's fine. And it's like, but like you see these very almost supernatural posts on Twitter or X, and I think this is one of them. And so it's like you kind of have to wonder. People were super intrigued by this post, and when they were asking, "How do you know?" Or it's like, by what's your reasoning? And the guy responded even more cryptically, "I don't know." And people are saying that's so based because, like, of course, no one really knows. However, he just posts this. So whatever the reason being, maybe he had some intel on Trump's tariff threats with China, and he knew, just by cause and effect that would cause the market to shake up. However, he does give a bright side that 11.5 is coming. He's not saying buy, he's saying sell, which means maybe October is still in the forecast. But then he's telling all the traders you may want to sell by 11.5. So somehow he's giving some projections. Take it for what you wish. Us Bitcoiners, we're hodlers for the long term. I still think that I don't think that 11.5 is the top by any means. Again, I'm a very firm believer in the liquidity that the Federal Reserve adds to the economy. I'm very keen on guess what, the cycle theory is that we just don't have enough of that cycle time frame to say it's over. I think we should be looking into January, even early February, for times when it's like you can really claim it's time for bear market. But again, that's just one guy. We'll see. I've also changed my projections. I used to say that we were over in October. Now I'm thinking, okay, well, the tariffs kind of push things to the right. Again, we're all just
we're all just guessing.
We're all just guessing.
Everyone's just guessing.
But I don't believe
all it is.
11.5.
Some people just like to pretend. Some people just want to pretend that they're not guessing.
Yeah.
And if they say it with enough conviction,
Oh,
then you're gonna buy what they're selling. Turbo Glazer, appreciate that, man. That's right. Trash talking MSTR in the morning. That's how we roll.
We ain't scared.
No, we're not scared.
Unless
nobody
Michael
cares.
Saylor wants to come on and kind of defend his position, defend his company. We'd be more than happy to have Mike on the Pleb Underground.
And just note, if we were to actually get Michael Saylor on Pleb Underground, we wouldn't allow him to do his monologues.
No,
it's like we would be like, no, we actually genuinely want to have a conversation and have real answers, because that's what happens. Everyone, shouldn't say everyone, but the majority that you see, it's just like the eyes are, glazed over and they're just in awe of the Sailor monologue.
Or falling asleep.
Or one of the two.
Look at our conversation with Pierre Rochard, which would be the closest thing to a Bitcoin treasury shill. And guess what? We respected his presence.
Yep.
We respected his input. And we
pushed back.
Questions. We pushed back. And there's some certain things he really couldn't answer because we asked the tough questions, and most people just aren't used to that. David Foley came on, very much of a opponent. He was at the Bitcoin Treasury Conference. He's a friend. I'm friends with Lawrence Lepard. I'm friends with David Foley. They're nice guys. But guess what? They have a position. We have a position. We're going to have actual conversation. You won't get that at too many Bitcoin podcasts. But on the Pleb Underground, you're going to get that. Just saying.
All right, we're done shilling ourselves. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going. That was good. I always tell you, I gotta get more. I gotta be more like that, right? I gotta be more like that. Okay, let's dive into some more fiat nonsense. What should we start off with? Okay, you know what? Let's just start off with the elephant in the room. Elephant in the room. Let's do it. JP Morgan. JP Morgan is like this multi-headed idiot monster. JP Morgan confirms on CNBC that they are going to allow clients to trade Bitcoin and crypto, but not yet launch custody services. So they want your trading fees, right? They want your fees, but they don't want a custody. So I kind of I don't understand how they can offer trading services without some form of custody, even if it's not temporary custody. Because think about it: when you go onto an exchange, you have to move your funds to the exchange.
However, what it is that you're not moving your Bitcoin or your Ethereum or your Cardano, you're moving your fiat. And from there, I guess you can buy a number on a screen that says Bitcoin or a slew of other cryptos. And so I feel like this is very similar to how Robinhood started off, where it's like you could not put your coins onto their exchange, you cannot take them off, but you can trade the number on the screen.
Okay, so no, hold on. So you can trade the number on the screen and you can buy it there.
And when you want to get out, you have to get out in fiat.
So is this all just pure paper?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pure paper. So it doesn't even, so in actuality, it's almost like it doesn't even exist.
That's right. That's
I'm sure this is fine though. I'm sure this is fine. It's okay. We're totally not going to have a bubble, and this is not, this doesn't,
the bull market, like where anytime
it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
11.5 it could be over, you know, February it could be over, and they're launching their services.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, JP Morgan hates Bitcoin, but hey, he's got it. They got to make money off of it.
We will just like BlackRock.
That's
How
right.
much Bitcoin does BlackRock have? Not as much as all the platforms will tell you. They have, if you go again, Bitcoin
It's not theirs.
treasuries.companies.com or Bitcoin treasuries, bitcointcs.net. I forget the website. We've talked about it before. How much
Yeah,
does
yeah,
BlackRock have?
bitcointreasuries.net.
6 to 8 Bitcoin, but guess what? 700,000. No, they're collecting fees off of that coin. So make sure you know the difference. BlackRock ain't pumping your bags.
No, they sure aren't. There we go, Mr. Business. We got some. Hey, Roman. Sorry, guys. We try to go through the comments as well, right? While we do this,
love our fans.
Yeah, it's an interactive show.
Don't you want to join? Hey, drop a comment. Drop a comment.
So
Join
yeah,
the show live.
we've got Roman here. We've got Lucky Redfish and Mr. Business. Yeah, paper blockchain opportunities. That's right, Mr. Business. You know, it's funny. JP Morgan hates Bitcoin, but they love blockchain. They love the walled garden. They love their moats, right? They love being gatekeepers. It just feels so good. All
How
right.
can you make money if you don't make a hedge around your money?
Yeah.
You know?
Just love being
Forget free market. We like monopolies, right?
That's right. We like monopolies. We like being gatekeepers. This is fun stuff. This is fun stuff. All right. Moving on here. We've got more fiat blockchain news. Coinbase is teaming up with American Express to launch a crypto credit card offering Bitcoin rewards. So I'm gonna say that this is really meant to do competition against Gemini's card that does the rewards. I'd be very curious to see how they're going to do their rewards, because American Express, you know, for the people that, I mean, I might be wrong about this now, but I remember American Express is one of those cards that either has like an extremely high limit, or in some cases, depending on like how wealthy you are, you can have almost like a no limit American Express,
Right.
but you do have to pay it by the end of the month. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
from
It's
what
been
I
a while
recall,
since
yeah, I haven't looked at, I haven't used an American Express in at least a decade.
It was a Costco American Express.
Doesn't matter who issued it. But look, I mean, this is par for the course, right? Everybody wants in. I don't think it's a big surprise. Yeah, no, it is definitely Lucky Redfish. It is not a shitcoin conference. There is no shitcoining where we are. Everybody is just talking about Bitcoin, and all the projects are around Bitcoin. And when I say that, I am not talking about tokens around Bitcoin. Okay, the actual
like
Bitcoin development.
True development.
Yeah.
C++, Python, like this stuff will if you think you're smart, this is going to humble you. So it's like, come to the Tabconf, learn something. We wish we could be in some of those workshops a little more. We're trying to get you guys the news. We're trying to get you guys interviews, but hey, I would love to sit in some of these little workshops and build up on my Python skills. So it's a great place to be, and it truly is discovering what gives Bitcoin its value. And one of those things is its programmability, like programmable money, like able to deal with threats and risks as they come around without changing the rules of the system. That's so important. It's not the same thing as fiat, and you don't understand that unless you come to an environment like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, exactly. We're moving on. We're moving on. Sorry. I'm just reading through the comments. People are asking about forks and stuff. Hold on a second.
No.
Hold on. Okay, so
Shout
the
out
last
to Phil being the host and the producer. I just get to wear my cool
he just gets to
threads
look good.
and the smile.
No,
right?
no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. The last thing we're going to do is belittle the co-host. All right, I've seen that done on enough shows,
Oh,
and we're not going down that path. Okay.
if there was another computer, I'd be right there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Enough about us. Let's talk about the news. Okay, another one.
Citi and JP.
Yeah, so here we go, guys. Citibank to launch Bitcoin and crypto custody services in 2026. So it looks like Citi is taking a bit of a different approach to JP Morgan. JP Morgan just wants your fees. Citibank wants it all. They want your Bitcoin there. They want your crypto there. They want all of that stuff. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I mean, look,
sorry.
Coinbase wasn't going to be the only dog in the fight. Like, they're not going to monopolize this. All these crypto exchanges, at some point, the institutions coming, they're going to say, hey, we can do that too.
Of course they can.
And what's that? And in my opinion, that is bullish because, again, you have a large demographic of people who see names like Coinbase, Gemini, I forget the other ones, Kraken.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what other exchanges
Strike,
are there?
And it's like, I don't trust my money with them. But these highly trusted,
right?
great history. They've never rug pulled anyone, right?
No.
And you can trust them with your Bitcoin or whatever it may be. But the catch is they want to have custody over your value, no matter what color, whether it's dollars or whether it's digital. They want to hold your value. But Bitcoin gives Bitcoin gives that use case where you don't need them anymore. They need you. And it's I guess the script is flipped on what it means to have your value. How safe is your money with yourself? You don't have to stick it under your mattress. You don't have to find some weird, obscure place to hide a stack of dollars. All you have to do is just have that 12 or 24 word seed phrase, and you just need to keep that thing secure. And that could be anywhere. I remember someone was there's another story about the Koreans threatening tax break, like taxation on crypto. And it's like, if you don't pay your taxes, we're going to come knock down your door. We're going to take your wallet. And then
that's right.
And then
they're going to confiscate.
Yeah. And then a reply said, "Ha ha ha." To think that we actually keep our wallet at our house. And it's like, it's funny. You don't know. Some people may, but you don't know where it is.
You don't know.
Changes the game. And the people that want to hold your value have to bring different values to the table in order for you to say, yeah, maybe I'll let you hold a little bit of my value for maybe some sort of escrow for a real estate deal, whatever the case may be. But you get to it. Bitcoin is a true bearer asset. So important.
Yeah, and the reality is that the government, and not just the government, but we'll say, I guess, the structure as a whole benefits the most from self-reporting and self-censorship. So really, all that has to happen is that there needs to be the fear, right? The fear that the state is going to come knocking at your door, and all of a sudden, right, you're gonna be a good citizen. You're gonna do the right thing. You're gonna follow, quote unquote, you're gonna follow the rules, right? Even if doing that just so happens to make you poorer, right? You don't want to go against the state,
well,
but that's not true. It's like, why it's like, why would you do that? That's what they want. That is the ideal scenario. The ideal scenario is that they just simply make a threat and you just fall in line.
And I'll
It's
tell you
that
this,
simple.
If they make that threat, they have to follow through with it. And if that threat
Good luck.
is not economically feasible for them, people are going to discover it's like, you say this, but that's an empty threat, and we're not scared of you. So they say, we're going to come break down your door. The government doesn't have the resources to break down everyone's door. Guess what? It's fake.
And they don't. They don't have the resources. They want to have the resources.
And they want you to think that they do.
Bingo. Yes.
And let them try, let them show what their hand really is, and you can call their bluff.
Yep.
So I'm not saying anyone should be overtly just breaking laws. I'm saying that the government is running out of the ability to police this thing for their benefit. we have won. It's just a matter of enough people recognizing it, and then the numbers will follow.
Yes, exactly. Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments. Yeah, exactly. Only
We're
Bitcoin.
not gonna take
Exactly.
it. No, we're not gonna.
All I
take
picture though is the long hair and the leather pants and the makeup, because that's what's that was the time. That's that song, right? That's the time. All right. Okay, guys. Yeah, this is actually, believe it or not, this is actually going to do it for the news this morning, right? We're just trying to warm up the day, get started with that. But look, what you guys have to look forward to today from us from Tabconf. Okay, so somebody did ask if we could walk around the conference and film, and in all fairness, we really can't. There's obviously a whole bunch of people that do not want to be doxxed. And so unfortunately we're not going to be doing that aspect of it, but we are going and getting people to bring back here to hold hostage to interview. So metaphorically holding hostage.
Oh,
but yeah,
I can't bully them.
No. Well, maybe if it works. Yeah. Look, if it gets us to where we're going, then you can do it. But if it doesn't, then you can't. No, I'm kidding. But look, so guys, right now what we're going to have is we're going to go bug Matt Hill, who's the CEO of Start9. He's going to come and join us, and we are going to talk to him. And for the people who don't know, I think he's a pretty big proponent of Bitcoin knots, right? Because as you can imagine, we're at a DevConf, so there is some core versus not stuff here going on. So we're going to get Matt on the show. He's going to give us some of his takes. Stay tuned. Right now it's 10:18 a.m. Eastern Standard. I don't know when we're going to have Matt on. Maybe around 10:30 or 11.
I think we can safely say 30 or 45 minutes.
Okay.
We're going to get him.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure that whatever conversations he's in, he can gracefully get out of those and prep them in. And we'll keep you guys posted, man.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on the Pleb Underground YouTube channel all week. We're coming at you more frequently than we ever have before. It's great. And it's a fun time to be around real, true Bitcoiners. Screw that suit coiner crap, right?
Absolutely. And Z-Logic just made a quick comment here. Yeah, Matt's an OG. Shinobi, the best Start9 promoter. Yeah, Shinobi's here too, so we're gonna get him to pop on the stream as well. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for joining us. That's the daily live news straight from Tabconf, and we're gonna see you guys in about a half an hour or so. Take it easy.